Welcome to the ninth grade Timberline orientation. For those of you that attended 8th grade at Timberline, we're really excited to have you back for another year. For those of you that come from a different school district and perhaps have never attended Waukee schools, we welcome you to Timberline. We hope that the information provided in this brief presentation will help you feel informed and a little bit more ready for your ninth grade year. To begin, I want to introduce a few people on the Timberline team. My name is Brady Fleming. I'm the principal. Mark Stallman is the assistant principal. Angie Gillick is the counselor dedicated to ninth grade, so she will be the point person for any questions that you might have regarding registration or orientation. Kristen Reed is the counselor for 8th grade. And Angela Hunn is a student services specialist that works with some students in various grades. So you know, all 5 of us have experienced working with students at different grade levels as well as different schools in Waukee. So hopefully all 5 of us have enough information that we can answer your questions or get the answers to those questions that we might not have. To start with a ninth grade overview, some of it will be very similar to 8th grade if you attended Timberline in 8th grade. We will continue to have a 7-period day. Those periods are approximately 50 minutes long. We utilize a team approach of core teachers. So we have 6 different community areas, 3 of those dedicated to ninth grade. And in those community areas, students would take their science, social studies, English, and sometimes math classes. That allows students to really have a smaller community feel, to get to know their teachers hopefully a little bit better, and for their teachers to get to know their students better and to work collaboratively to meet the needs of their students. So Waukee does really engage and want that approach. You will take next year your traditional core classes, which are a math class, science, English, social studies, plus PE and health, and then you'll have elective choices. In ninth grade, you do have more options than you did in 8th grade. And thinking ahead to 10th through 12th grade, when you get over to the high school, you'll have more and more options there also. Reminder that plan, and some schools would call that advisory, but plan is on Tuesday and Friday afternoons in between a couple periods towards the end of the day. We do not have plan at the beginning of the day. So just a reminder that first period begins at 8 o'clock a.m. and our first period is always an academic class. So we hope people can be here in a timely manner and be ready to learn at 8 o'clock. Before we actually start talking about classes, you do have more elective opportunities, but we also want you to know that the number of sports, fine arts, activities, clubs, and groups increases dramatically in the ninth grade year. So on the left-hand column, those are all the sports that are available, and there are more than you had an opportunity in 8th grade. And then on the right, we have fine arts plus some other clubs and groups that are of high interest to people. We really want our students here to be as involved as they can be without being too involved and putting too much pressure on themselves. But hopefully when you look at that large list, you can find 1 or 2 or maybe 3 things that you're really interested and passionate about. And there's a place for everybody here, and there's a niche for everyone. So we hope that you would consider being a part of an activity club or group next year. And if you have questions about how to do that, we can certainly help you figure that out. Moving forward to the academic side, we really need to talk for the first time. Well, I know you've talked about it in plan, but we need to start talking about graduation requirements for the 9th through 12th grade year. Although you are going to be at Timberline next year, you are a high school student. So keep in mind this is what's required in order for you to graduate. Students need to have 53 credits to graduate, and at Timberline, 1 credit equals a 1-semester course. So you will sign up for 7 classes each semester, so for a total of 14 classes. So when you leave here after your freshman year, as long as you've passed all your classes, you will have earned 14 credits toward your 53 credits. In language arts, you need to have 8 credits by the time you graduate. and that includes speech. You need to have 7 of mathematics, and that includes a statistics class. You must have 6 credits in science, 6 in social studies, 1 health credit. Many students, most students take health their freshman year. PE, you are required by our board to take 1 credit of PE each year. And then there are 22 elective credits. Now keep in mind, elective credits can be additional science classes. For example, if you've taken 6 credits in science but you love science and want to take more, that just means you've elected to take more science classes. So those would count towards your electives. So as long as you're doing what you're supposed to be doing and you're passing your classes and you're doing well, you should have no problem meeting the graduation requirements. So now we move to the 9th grade required courses. Everyone will take a math course here. Everyone will take an English course here. Everyone will take physical science and world history. Each of those first 4 classes they are year-long classes. Everyone will take 1 semester of PE and 1 semester of health. And then speech. It is not required to take in 9th grade. However, it is required to take by the time you graduate. So we have some people that will elect to take speech their 9th grade year and get it done and get it out of the way. And we'll have other people whose schedules get too full with other electives. Just know that if you don't take it here, you'll take it later at the high school. And either way is acceptable. 9th grade electives, as I mentioned before, you will have more choices this year than you did in 8th grade. On the left-hand column are classes that are all year long and they meet every day. So music, you could take either band every day or choir every day. Or if by taking band every day and choir every day, that doesn't give you enough wiggle room for other electives, you can choose to take band and choir opposite of each other every other day. That would be the only class that could be offered every other day. For those of you that were here in 8th grade, that would be the same as what you experienced in 8th grade. You can choose Spanish 1 or Spanish 2, German 1 or German 2, Intro to Engineering Design, which is a Project Lead the Way course, or Introduction to Publications in Yearbook. Those are all year-long classes. For semester-long classes, again, they meet every day. We have Intro to Business, Computer Applications, Culinary Arts, Child Development, Speech, and again, speech is not required that you take it at Timberline. However, it is required that you take it by the time you graduate. So many people, but not all, choose to take it in 9th grade. Either whatever works for you is fine with us. You have the basic art class, an introduction to woodworking, intro to drafting and design. Keep in mind the last bullet, there is no study hall in 9th grade. There will be no study hall in 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. In order to maximize your time here, in order to earn the credits that you need to earn to graduate, we have to have people taking credited classes each period. So no study hall next year. You're going to fill it with a class if you took a study hall in a previous year. This sheet shows what the Timberline registration guide looks like. We're going to want you to fill this out and complete it and bring it back. So at the top it says, please turn this page into your current social studies teacher by Monday, February 27th. The reason we said Monday, February 27th is that will allow you to attend parent-teacher conferences the week before and maybe ask any of your teachers if they have any suggestions. Your teachers know you well enough to know what your passion areas are, and they might be able to suggest certain electives for you. So that allows you to get their expertise. But if you can bring that in by Monday, February 27th, we will be registering through your social studies teacher the week of Monday, February 27th. Our counselors will help you to get registered so that you can get the classes that you want. So please complete this registration form. For the selections on the left, you just choose which ones make sense. For example, English, it asks you to choose 1. For math, it asks you to choose a total of 2 credits. For electives, on the right, we ask you to number your top 7 choices. Number 1's your top choice, number 2's your second choice, so on and so forth. We use this because sometimes we run into situations in which classes fill up and you can't get into a class that you want, and or because some of our classes are kind of specialized, and if they happen to be offered at the same time as another class you're really interested in, we don't want to know which one you would prefer to try to get you into those classes. Our counselors will do their best to try to accommodate all requests, knowing that it just doesn't always happen perfectly. So please read through that. If you have questions, see Mrs. Jillick with your questions. Schedule changes, and this is not new to those who attended Timberline in 8th grade. Once the semester is started, schedule changes for the current semester are not allowed unless there's a mistake in the student schedule or for a level change. And a level change, an example would be you realize that you were in the wrong math class, so we had to change to get you in the correct level of math. So it would be a pretty unusual circumstance, but we would make those changes. As last year, as in 8th grade, there's an online schedule request form that's available currently on the Timberline website. We'll leave it up there anytime you'd like to request a change for the next semester. So when you register this spring, if this summer you decide, I realize I registered for something I'm not interested in anymore, then you would get online, the Timberline website, find the schedule request change form, and fill that form in. That form will get directed to your counselor, who will do their best to accommodate your change request. Again, know that all requests cannot be changed due to class sizes and classes that fill up, and that some classes are offered when your other favorite classes might be offered. So just know that when the semester starts, we don't make any more changes. And so you know, going into your 10th through 12th grade year, that will be consistent at the high school. Once a new term starts, then the schedule remains the same. So again, registration will take place on Wednesday, March 1st, and we ask that you turn in your registration sheet completed and signed by a parent to your current social studies teacher on or before Monday, February 27th. And you will register with your social studies classes, and counselors will come in and help you get registered on Wednesday, March 1st. So why is this important? Well, even though it feels like you're not at the high school, you are a high school student. So Timberline 9th graders are high school students. Your learning matters. Your grades are part of your permanent academic record. So the grades that you get in 9th grade go on your record, and they will go on your transcript. Once they're transcripted, we can't change those things. So if you're thinking long term, you want to start doing your best. If you haven't yet been doing your best, you want to start that now. We also want you to be thinking ahead a little bit. There's some amazing opportunities at the high school, and the Wilk building right next to Timberline with all the Apex classes offer a variety of really high interest classes. So we want you to have the opportunity to go take those classes once you get to your junior and senior year. We want you to have the opportunity to take school to work classes or any other high interest elective classes when you get to the high school. And what's really important is that you do your best here and you set yourself up for success there. So do your best next year. Don't overly put pressure on yourself, but do well and set out to do your best on getting your high school career started off right. So if you did not do well in 8th grade, this is your chance to start all over because it's a fresh start in 9th grade and do well. So we expect you to continue to do well. One other just compliance thing, the state of Iowa requires schools to confirm dental screenings prior to their 9th grade year. So this is a requirement of us by the state of Iowa. We will have dental screening forms in the office, and we'll also clearly be handing those out during orientation. So you have plenty of time to get this done, but before entering 9th grade, have a form completed and turned into the Timberline office. Dentists also have the same form, so if you show up at your dentist's office, they can complete the form for you, but it is a requirement of us to get from you. So if you could get those turned in, that would be great. So, a lot of information. For questions after tonight, like I said earlier, Mrs. Gillick here at Timberline School is going to be the ninth grade counselor for next year. If you were at Timberline this year, she was the eighth grade counselor this year, so she will continue to work with that same group of students that she's gotten to know. Please seek her out either via email or phone, and know that you can ask a lot of questions at parent-teacher conference night also. So. We're very, very excited for next year. We're very excited for your ninth grade year. And let us know if you have any further questions. Thank you.